Alright, we all know why you're here. It's me, Jeremy, your favorite high school guidance counselor. You've been failing human AP. I'm going to need you to sign this permission slip to your parents because you're failing. And oh my god, where did any of that come from? Hi, despite that weird intro, this is the start of the live show series, and we're going to talk today about music, and I'm so excited. Quick reminder, on the 31st of July, I'm premiering my live show, so all the stuff that I talk about in these videos will be seen in action on the 31st, and so please subscribe. The live show is going to be sweet. I'm so excited. I've been building it for a few weeks now, and I'm so stoked about it. So, we're talking about music, and the thing is, this is the most important piece of the puzzle. This is the thing that people are coming to see you for. They wouldn't come to see you for your lighting. They wouldn't come to see you for your visuals. They come to see you for your music, and that's like the most important thing. All the other stuff bolsters this piece of the puzzle. And I think there's a big misconception in electronic music and synth pop music, you know, all those kind of genres that I kind of dabble in, to do the just press the play button thing and not actually play your music. But I know so many artists who are dispelling that theory, and I'm hoping that I can be one of those people to tell you, hey, if you're wanting to build a live show, don't just press play, actually play. There are a few ways to do this, and the easiest way that I can think of is called stemming, or creating stems of your song. If you don't know what stems are, when you make a track and you bounce a track out, you can actually bounce each individual line and then take pieces out, and then you can actually play those pieces instead of them being in the production. So for example, I'm playing Trust, and this is the drop. And I'm like, what do I do here? Well, I could either sing the melody, which I probably will do, or I'll play the I'll probably play that line or something like that, and I'll actually be able to participate instead of just pressing play. That's the biggest kind of speed bump to get over when it comes to electronic live music, is how much do I play? What do I do? And the simplest way is to have your specific pieces where it's melodies, drum beats that are specifically user-friendly for you to be able to drum and not program, and then vocals, singing. Coming up with really creative ways to add your own live vocals is really a cool way to implement live musicality. And when it comes to shows, you might ask yourself, well, how do I know what to play? I have a few kind of guidelines that I go with. The first one is, if you're going to play under 30 minutes of music, so if you're opening for someone else, or if you're playing a venue in a collaborative sense where it's like a bunch of artists and you all get equal time, 30 minutes or less, I would say only play your hits, right? I know that Trust, Air, and Running Back, probably my top 3 songs. I know I have to play those 3 because those are the 3 that people know me for, right? And that's the thing, you want to be able to grab people's attention with the things that they know and are even a little familiar with, and playing well-known songs helps contribute to that. If you're going to play 30 minutes to 45 minutes-ish, you have a little bit more wiggle room where you can play your hits, but then also add little sprinkles of things here and there to make your set way more interesting. And lastly, if you're going to play for 45 minutes plus, an hour, whatever, you are golden as far as creativity goes. You can have all of your resources available to you to kind of push your creative envelope a lot further. And on that note, don't disregard your unreleased music. My SoundCloud has, 70 public tracks, but there's 400 something tracks in there that are not public. And that's all content that I can use and actually spice up my set with. And actually, on the note of choosing a track list and all that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I organize my setup. And I have 3 main ways to organize tracks. The first is organization by key. The second is organization by tempo. And the third is organization by popularity. So I'm going to give you a brief example with an actual example of something from my live show. This is the live project file for See You Later, one of my songs that came out in January. And it's honestly one of my favorite songs that I've made, and I was like, okay, I want to create a really spicy version of this song where it actually is way more energetic than it lets off. And so I look at this song and I say, okay, so it's in the key of E. It's around 105, 100 BPM area. Well, what else can I find that's in the same area? And I look at what's in the key V, and I see featured photos is in there. I see running back is in there. And you know, those are two housey songs where I can actually kind of integrate elements of all three songs into one cohesive segment of a show. This is a real life example of how I combine elements. Part of live shows is subverting expectations a little bit and coming up with creative ways to introduce old ideas that people are familiar with, and saying, I want to be able to spark people's interests by introducing those ideas in a new way. So, See You Later. Let's talk about it. I'm going to play a little clip, and then we'll talk about it in just a second.
Too long. What if it's time to put aside something I really love? I'll see you later.
So you can see there that in the place where the drop of See You Later normally would be, I actually brought the kick out, and I put all the drop instruments in without raising the dynamic too much. And I actually created this.
Saying we'll talk later. I don't really know if it might be the time in my life to really let this go. I'll just keep saying maybe later. I put this off.
A build going into what is now expected to be a more hype drop than the normal drop. So this is the normal drop. And this is the new drop.
I really love, I'll see you later.
So you can see I kind of played on a lot of the elements of See You Later, but then actually made something that's way more energetic. I kept the vocal chops in, but I actually changed, almost completely changed genres. Going from more house music to like electro house, beach house, pop, in a way where I'm gonna get people dancing during that part. How do I transition out of this? Well, let's look at that list again. Look at featured photos. It's in the same key, it's around the same tempo. Let's see how this turns out by teasing some of the elements. So adding that little guitar piece in there hints at maybe what's coming next, because then I get out of this beach house drop and I actually transition into it now. So that's how I transition from one song to another, but then I say, okay, well that's a good 2-minute clip of the show. I have an hour. Like, where am I going to go now? So I keep looking. Let's keep looking at the list. I look and I see Running Back is also around the same tempo, around the same key. So let me tease some elements like I did in the last song with See You Later and featured photos. Now I'm going to try and see if I can go from featured photos to Running Back. So let's see if I can add some elements in there. So it worked out pretty nice, and you know, that'll produce maybe a 7-8 minute clip of the show. So I've just filled like a sixth of my time by adding 3 songs that are super popular and being able to do them in ways that are way different than just playing the track, playing the track, playing the track. I hope that shows you a little bit of my process there. I do that for almost every section except for songs that I know I need to play in full in their entirety, like the hits, the popular ones. So I know Trust, for example, I have a live version of Trust, but I have so many of the original elements in there, and then have a little bit of like a hype ending or something like that. Or Hebrews 4 that is one of my other songs, and I play that song just plainly straight through because I want that song to be heard in its fullness. So quick recap real quick. Don't press play, actually play. Coming up with creative ways to introduce old ideas, and mapping songs by key, tempo, and popularity. Those are like the biggest things I could say as far as tips for building a live show, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of context. So next week we'll talk about lighting, and I'll show you the lights from this very same section of the show. And then the week after that we'll talk about visuals, and I'll show you the visuals from this same section of the show and kind of explain the process. But guys, if you want to see that video, like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications by hitting the bell, please. And I will talk to you guys next week. I'm so excited. This is great. I'll talk to you guys later.